So, what a week it has been for Oklahoma fans. First and foremost, a new deal between the Oklahoma Sooners and ESPN Plus has been announced. We need to talk briefly about this because though some may find it insignificant, I find it really cool and we have to break it down. And then after that, we need to talk about a former top 200 player in all of high school football visiting the Oklahoma Sooners this weekend in LV Bunkley Shelton, and we need to talk about why this is intriguing. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down in the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited that Oklahoma is getting in a visit from LV Bunkley Shelton? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below, as those interactions, though seemingly small, are incredibly impactful for content creators such as myself, in both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And we're going to start with the new deal with ESPN Plus. Because whenever you're talking to Oklahoma fans, and I mean really talking to them, especially about things outside the gridiron, whenever you're hearing their grievances, those grievances typically center around the TV structure Oklahoma had to adhere to. And because of that, I think this is so cool that now they're getting something new. And further than that, whenever we really dive into what it is ESPN Plus will be offering them, that's also what I find pretty cool. ESPN Plus is offering Oklahoma fans a place where all of their favorite content is consolidated in one area, whether it be softball, football, basketball, live events, or even past events. That right there is a college football fan's dream, and I think that's really awesome. Look, inevitably, we're going to be moving towards a structure in college football, but in media that resembles that. Streaming is taking over. The way we digest our media is completely changing, and these multi-billion-dollar corporations are going to have to adapt to it, and this is a form of that adaptation. So it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like when it's rolled out. It seems to be rolling out July of this year, and I'm very excited for Oklahoma fans to see what they think of it once it finally gets here. But now, let's talk some football, because Oklahoma is getting in a visit this weekend that, quite frankly, I'm surprised is flying this much under the radar. LV Bunkley Shelton is a former top 200 player in all of high school football coming out the state of California. He was courted by some of the nation's top colleges, and for good reason. Whenever we look at Bunkley Shelton, this is someone who's been able to contribute once he hit the collegiate game. This past season, he attributed for almost 500 yards, coming in at 418 on 33 receptions, and had an average of 12.7 yards per reception. Now, that in and of itself is impressive. You're always interested whenever these guys hit the transfer portal in finding somebody that not only has a high ceiling, but that's been able to offer you something in the realms of production. And that's exactly what Bunkley Shelton gives you. But further than that, he was able to put together that kind of season at an institution that has been surrounded by chaos. And I don't mean to take a shot at Arizona State, but how can anybody be expected to be successful when there is so many distractions, so much chaos around that program right now? And we don't even need to look at the exodus of players. They have lost a lot of players, but when you look at the coaching talent they've lost as well, that institution needs some help, and I hope things get figured out there sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, LV Bunkley Shelton enters the transfer portal after having a successful season this past year, and after being somebody that the Arizona State fan base were really excited to see continue to grow. But inevitably, if you're in that chaotic situation, I can't blame anybody for wanting to get out. So Oklahoma getting in LV Bunkley Shelton for a visit is impressive, especially when wide receiver is an area that theoretically they could bring in more talent via the transfer portal. Because the Oklahoma Sooners like what they have at the top of that wide receiver room, in which case you're talking about Marvin Mims, Theo Weiss, Drake Stoops, Jaleel Farouk came on at the end of last season, and Jaden Gibson's a freshman we have to keep an eye on. You cannot teach that size, and because of that, if he continues to develop, I would be shocked if at the very least we don't see red zone packages for him, because effectively you're just making mismatches for the defense if you put him out there. So that's going to be something interesting to see. But if you have the opportunity present itself where you have a wide receiver such as Bunkley Shelton that put up almost 500 yards in such a chaotic system that Arizona State has, and now he's interested in coming and visit. Well, you take that and you run with it. And that's why I say this is going to be an intriguing visit for the Oklahoma Sooners. It's a position that they could add in more talent, and it really wouldn't affect the lineup in any sort of negative way. It would actually provide a positive benefit to it by adding in more depth and giving Jeff Lebby more options in which case to affect the defense. And that's what's going to be so interesting about this, is what does Oklahoma look to do to finalize their true quote-unquote offseason? What are the moves that Oklahoma looks to make now that everything is winding down and they have a much clearer indication of the needs of the team and how to best improve the team? Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. Would you like to add in LV Bunkley Shelton to Oklahoma's transfer portal acquisition list? And let me know. That's it. See ya.